Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof. Ooh. This is episode. Hello, hello. This is episode 797. So close to 800. Because that, my friends, is how numbers work. Oh, he's the disappearing act. He went bloop bloop, he's gone. That's how numbers work, my friends. Episode 797 of the series. This episode releasing on Sunday, August 30th, 2020. And being live streamed at the same time here. I'm trying it in 30 frames per second. I said I would because I could. I can, and I am. This is going to be the first episode of Farlands or Bust that is recorded and broadcast to YouTube in 60 frames per second, since I don't remember the episode when YouTube first introduced 60 frames per second. What have I been saying? 60 frames, right? 60. I said 60. You said 30 the first time. Listen, numbers. That's how they do. So it's always been 30. It's been easier on my processing and video rendering as well. I guess there's that reason. But yeah, trying it out. See, I don't think the jitter's that bad. I don't think the jitter's that bad at all. Do I need wool? I do. If anything, your vision of it should be eased now that it is smoother in your screens. Smoother in your screens indeed. I have some news unrelated to like Farlands or Bust, the game. This game is now called Farlands or Bust, by the way. I fully expect Twitch to include it in one of the game category options, just like they included Car on a Stick, specifically for me. So yeah, this is Minecraft Beta 173, actually. But Farlands or Bust, we've been raising money for charity since June 2011. Did Child's Play charity for quite a while, did Direct Relief, and then this season, I suppose. Well, hey, actually, yeah, a year, because we did the last Flobathon on August 31st. So this season is nearly a year old. But yeah, for Season 8, we've been raising money for PAWS, the Progressive Animal Welfare Society. PAWS is a Seattle area animal rescue, rehabilitation, and adoption network, I suppose you can call it. Where I adopted Juno from, long before we started raising money for them. It's where we recently dropped off 5 orphaned baby ducklings that the girlfriend rescued, and they've been very gracious as far as that is concerned, and are an all-around good place that I'm happy to be supporting. Unfortunately, there have been some technical issues with the donations system, and that is unfortunately a huge deal with trying to do a video game fundraiser for charity. Back in the early days, we used Chip-In, which was a free little widget that just automatically directed donations to the PayPal account of your choosing. And that was very convenient, because then it tracked your donations, and you could have little widgets, but then it was bought by somebody, and then they took it down, and then Chip-In disappeared. Which is why, at the time, Jamie was at Child's Play charity. She had set up a specific Child's Play charity donation system and widget. Which is no small feat or task, but that is what enabled us to continue raising money for Child's Play charity. And I could say, raise money for this charity and raise money for this charity, and y'all could go donate, but it's the tracking for the donations that's important as far as this whole setup is concerned. And that's where Chip-In disappeared from us. That's where Child's Play created their own. And then with Direct Relief, that's where Tiltify is. Tiltify takes a fee from the donations based on that they have agreements with the charities and between Tiltify and the charities, and that's the way they're able to work. But Tiltify, there's a lot of that was born out of streaming, I feel. Tiltify was. So we used Tiltify then. And then in searching for a new charity, I discovered that Pause, not that one, Pause had its own donation system. Turns out it's not its own, but it's another third-party system that charities use for individuals like myself to set up various fundraisers and goals and tracking. This is a part of the story that's important. Unfortunately, if you did donate and you gave an email that you actually check, you would have received an email to let you know that that website partner, that tracking system called BlackBod, suffered a ransomware attack, and no credit card or payment data was supposedly taken. That's what they say now. But the attack apparently made off with a file that might have contained contact details, demographic information, and donation history, dates, and amounts, which those are already public as far as facing on the website. But yeah, so that I just got an email about that, and Pause was just made aware in July or something. So that, I mean, honestly, all of us have been victims of a data breach. I mean, the biggest one in the history of history was the Equifax one, which has a file on every human for your credit history. And remember, we were all supposed to get like $150 based on the settlement, but then they're like, oh, geez, I didn't realize people would actually want that, so now nobody gets nothing. Remember that? And then there was like Zappos had something. I got an email about Zappos, and they offered like, here's 20% off or something like that. My college had a data breach I got a letter about. So yeah, it's everywhere. I'm not saying it's acceptable, but so yeah. Anyway, I apologize that happened. I also apologize because the system has kind of been broken for a while. I've mentioned this a few times, but when you donate, there's a spot for a nickname, and one would assume that is what gets posted in the comment with your donation. But no, it unfortunately keeps instead using your first name and last name details from your payment information. So I've been trying to, and I know people have missed this, I've been trying to let you know to submit anonymously and then just put your username or whatever in the comment. So that's been annoying, and I contacted them about that, and again, Pause responded to me saying that that's their service provider's issue and they're working on it, etc., etc. So long story short, we've raised $4,216 for the Progressive Animal Welfare Society. And that's amazing and much appreciated. But in light of this and the overall troubles we've experienced, I've decided that we're going to switch charities. And I even mentioned this before, like I switching charities in Farlands or Bust is something I've looked into, the ability to not set it to simply every season after a flobathon. So I'm going to be switching charities. I don't have all the stuff up at the moment. It'll be up by the end of the month. I did set up a Tiltify. I'm using Tiltify again. Like I said. Tiltify we used last season for direct relief. And a lot of people use Tiltify. The small problem with Tiltify is that, like, you can't just use any charity. It's only with the charities that they have agreements with. But I found a very good charity, and I'll tell you about it. Suspense in the morning. And a charityness to Flobathon. Wait, what? No, not yet, please. So yeah, I'm going to put a link in the video description to the Tiltify campaign, but we're going to be supporting the Equal Justice Initiative via Tiltify, EJI for short. First things first, we're not going to get it confused with Pause on Pause, I don't think. But the Equal Justice Initiative is an organization that was founded in 1989 who are working to end mass incarcerations, excessive punishments, and the racial inequalities of the justice system and the society through various methods of education and information, what's the word I'm looking for? Studies and things of those natures. So they have a perfect 100 score on Charity Navigator, which is a hard thing to achieve for their transparency and their use of funds, and that's what we're going to be supporting. We raised, like I said, for Pause, $4,216. So I figured, what if we raise another $4,200? And then that would be $8,400 total raised for Season 4 of Farlands or Bust. So yeah, I'll have a link for that in the video description, and I'll be able to provide it to the people in chat when I'm not playing a video game. But it's using Tiltify, which another kind of downside with the Pause system is they only took credit cards, didn't take PayPal. Tiltify takes PayPal. And yeah, it'll work the same as the charity for the fundraiser we had for direct relief, because it's the same system. Same system indeed. All right. Anybody have any questions? Wolfie, you have any questions? You understand? Like I said, this is nothing due to the Pause Progressive Animal Welfare Society organization. Like I said, that's where I got Juno. It was the only place in the entire Seattle area that was willing to take these orphaned birds. They were taking any wildlife in at all. And then I even got a follow-up email about it I told you about previously, that they released 3 of them to the wild, and those 3 survived and are fine. So it's a very good organization. It's just right now the systems are not in place for us to confidently and flexibly, that's a word, continue fundraising for them. Indeed. I did have one final question here from the Pause charity website. From Preston. Preston asks, if you had a chance to drive a 4x4 truck or SUV through a mud pit, a hill climb, etc., Would you go with a group to do that? I would do that by myself. No, yeah, I'm not. I'm not a huge. I'm not like big into like the off-roading scene, I suppose. I kind of more or less just get a kick out of like, I don't know what to call it. Not quite off-roading. Not like rock climbing or mud bogging or anything. Just like, I think it's even fun to drive on the quote-unquote, what do they call them? What do they call these roads? They call them like primitive roads or something like that. I don't know if that applies, but just like gravel roads. There are a lot of them out here that used to be logging roads in the mountains. I have a boat. And there's a lot of them going to of these various hikes and stuff. You get off the main road and you got to drive on this old gravel, dirt, potholed logging road for a while to get to the actual trailhead. Forest Service roads, yeah, that's similar. Yeah. That's fun. That's fun for me, and that's like what a Subaru does good at. I did recently get new wheels and tires for the Subaru, since I still had the ones I bought them with from 5 years ago. I found on Craigslist somebody was selling their set of 15-inch Sparco Terra rally wheels, which were the ones I was looking at, but not willing to pay full price for. Shame? Shame. I'm being shamed by powers. And then I got a set of Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tires. What's the size I got, Wolfie? 225, 70, 15. If you're a tire nerd, that's what I got. Tire Rack recommended the 215 width, but the stock width on the Crosstrek is 225, and I'm like, I don't know that I could notice 1 centimeter difference, but let's keep things the same. Yeah, I didn't want to go with the BFGs. Everybody, this is just between me and Powers right now. Like, I don't know how many other people know what the heck I'm talking about. The BFGs or the General Grabbers are the other. Are those the same one? I don't know. I always forget. Those are like too aggressive, and they're not good on like actual roads, because this is still my road car. This is still driving down the freeway car. So I heard and read and looked at all these Crosstrek Reddits and forums, and what size is that? Does the tire rub? What do you do? Do you need spacers? How's the offset? It's a real mess out there, friends. It's a real mess. Anyway, I have now more aggressive all-terrain off-roading tires on the Crosstrek. So I would like to more confidently be able to do that. Even driving on the beach was fun. There's a beach out west of Seattle that you can drive like on the sand, and with like my 5-year-old all-weather stock tires that came with my Subaru, I'm like, I don't want to get stuck in sand. That would be bad. Oh yeah. Here's the weird thing. They had a rebate at Subaru dealerships for Yokohamas, so I just got them from there and got them installed. I didn't tell them, and I didn't get charged for the TPMS, whatever they're called, sensors. The little sensors in your wheels that you'll get a light on your dashboard if like one of your tires are low. So I figured, and just assumed that I would be getting the little warning light with my new wheels and tires, but no, not a one. I don't know if like they just installed them for free. Tire pressure monitoring system, yes. Or like the other thing I'm thinking is because my old wheels and tires are in the garage, Like, maybe it just checks when I start up the car, and it's like, okay, they're fine, but the car doesn't know that they're not on the car. I figured it's more like it's real time. It checks, but yeah, that's a fun. That's a fun little side effect that I didn't expect. Of course, now that I say it, the next time I drive it, the light's gonna come on. I feel like it should know. You'd think. I like checked, and it was gonna be like $300 for like new sensors and installation. So I'm like, no. So I might have got them for free. The Subaru ones are built into the wheel, the tire stems. Most shops should move the TPMS sensors for you. True, if I had them remove the old tires, which I didn't. I still have the old tires mounted on the old wheels. Because when I sell the Crosstrek, I just want to be able to go bloop bloop and be done, you know, sell the stock setup instead of, and then sell my wheels separately. So, I don't know. That's interesting. Like, the girlfriend got new tires for her car, and, like, the sensors keep coming on. Because like, at first they didn't balance her tires, so she had to go back and get them balanced, and it's a real mess, so I don't know. Whoop. Fun stuff. Let's go to sleep and continue on fully inflated tires in the morning. And awakeness. I don't feel like I answered the question here. Would I go? Yes. I would go on a 4x4 off-roading excursion. There are even some car clubs that do that around here, but I've never like wanted to take part in those. I don't know. I guess the sort of like technical, slow, like snow runner style like driving is not incredibly interesting to me. But like what Powers does, the Rally Cross, Rally X, I don't know what it's called. That's interesting. I wouldn't do that with my Subaru because that's like my daily driver. I don't think that would be wise. But do it. I don't know that there are any in the area. I mean, there's the Dirtfish place is a bit of ways, but they have their own cars that you have to use and money that you have to pay. Lots and lots of money. I think I'll be content with, like, every now and again finding some trails. I went on a trail with Cone when he was in. We did a loop around the mountains. So yeah, like I like a Toyota 4Runner, the first gens, but 90% of them have all been like lift kits and huge wheels and like mud tires and like I'm not, I like the way they look stock. I'm never gonna drive over a boulder with these things. But that's just me. But that is just me. I'm only surface level interested in that sort of thing. Yeah, the first gen 4Runner. The one that's literally just a truck that they put seats in the back of and a canopy. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I even don't like the second generation ones, because then they got like 4 doors and like they've actually become SUVs. And I'm like, scoff! I scoff in your general direction of how many doors you have. Y'all should watch Ran When Parked. You would have known all this already. A woof. What else is new? No, that's about it. Whoop. Yeah, that's really about it. Okay, bye. No. Still walking to the farlands. How is it, everybody? How's the 60 frame? Bleh. How's the 60 frames all right for you? I'm speaking exclusively to the YouTube folks. I already know what it's like for you lot in the Twitch chat. Oh, too many wood. Oh. Get planted. So now here's a question though. Powers, your daily driver Rally X car is probably a manual, right? I feel like I would be at a distinct disadvantage with an automatic. If I were to do such a thing, which I'm not going to because it's my daily driver. The feep. I keep really wanting another car, and the girlfriend isn't helping. Although she's discouraging all of my, like, woo! Like there was a cheap 924S. Which is just like a skinny, slower version of the 944. And you all know how I just incorrectly just have some sort of weird attraction to those things. It was cheap. I wanted it, but then it got sold. There was a Supra, exactly like the one Cone worked at. That got sold right away. Yeah, I can, Powers says you can usually manually select, yes. I can manually select my non-existent CVT gears with flappy paddles. What are your opinions on new cars? I don't know that I'm ever going to buy another new car. It just isn't necessary for me, someone who doesn't commute. Like, for a long time, I was considering just selling the Crosstrek and trying to find a good Outback XT manual. But then, you know, the world fell apart, more so than it already was apart. So I'm like, I guess I'll just hold on to this thing then. I'll just get new wheels. Maybe that'll make it feel more fresh. Or even like, because considering the Forerunners, I'm like, I really like the first-gen Forerunners. If I got a first-gen Forerunner, it would, like, aside from the economy and safety aspects, it would pretty much fulfill all the needs of the Crosstrek. But yeah, no, I don't keep up with new cars. I know there was some big thing about how Subaru, their like 5-year plan got leaked or something like that. I do know that they're coming out with a more powerful Crosstrek that has like the Forester engine instead of the Impreza engine. But I don't think people understand that that's also going to make it a lot more expensive. It's not going to be the entry-level car that I bought it as. I guess the next gen BRZ is in the works or something. I don't know. I say this having just drove the Corolla around. There's like little things that I like have never looked at that I really need to look at in that car. Like I need to lubricate the chassis. The ball joints and things. I need to get a grease gun and grease. Never looked at the rear brakes. They're just drum brakes, so they're mostly there for show, but It's running good. It's running quite good since I rejetted the carburetor. So yeah, new cars, there's nothing that interests me, nor anything that I'm keeping up with. I don't know, I'm just like turned off by the whole, I guess, marketing and corporate marketing and, you know, all that stuff and focus groups and stuff. I'd rather just, at this point, I don't know, just I'll keep a car in circulation that's already out there, you know. It's no need to make any more. There's enough for me. I can find some. Whoop. Fell in the water. So yeah, I hope that answers that question, that inquiry. Adopt, don't shop. There's something to be said for shopping as well, for pets. Like, don't, like, having supporting paws and things like that. Yeah, obviously, but reputable breeders of actual breeds, not these Frankenstein labradoodles. If that's how you want to spend your thousands, then that's how you can do it. And that would be better if you're not prepared to take on a mystery adoption. All these people who are like, oh, I must adopt this clearly damaged pet, and then they get overwhelmed, and then that's how they end up back in the cycle, or poorly treated. So anyway, I'm not pontificating about this, but it's good to think about the alternate reasoning behind blanket statements like that. Right, Wolfie? Come on, get up. Speaking of damaged, no. Let's dig in for the final hidey hole of the episode. Boop. Indeed. Farlandsorbust.com is still going to be the place, obviously, where you want to find out and donate. And there might actually be like a legitimate Tiltify tracker on the website for donating to our charity fundraiser. What am I doing? Workbench. Making beds. Making beds. Ooh. And yeah, I hope y'all survived the month. And I appreciate you following along for the journey here in Farlands or Bust. This has been episode 797. My name is Kurt. Thanks so much for watching. I forgot what I say there. I will see you next time. Suspense!